Well, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you are interacting with this information. If you know, you know. This is your boy Mukhtar Muhammad. Welcome to another video of this series. In part one, we talked about emotional rejection. In part two, we talked about tone, timing, and ego. Part three, misunderstanding and human nature. And here, part four, we are going to talk about when helping backfires, right? When helping backfires, sometimes it's not what you say, sometimes it's not what you say. Sometimes helping, it feels like it's pressure. Okay, and here's the uncomfortable truth is that helping can feel superiority in some situations, depending on person to person, even if what you're saying is not your intention to make it that way. And when you step in with advice, solutions, or correction, people unintentionally shift the way they perceive your information, and that people shift the dynamic. You move from equal to equalizer. You move from peer to guide, from listener to fixer. And human nature doesn't always respond well into being fixed out of whatsoever. And there's a difference between support and correction. Okay? Support says I'm with you, correction says you're off. Even if correction is accurate, sometimes it just comes off. And another reason helping backfires is that unsolicited solution. Unsolicited solutions feel like you're in control of that person's life. Like we talked about part three, sometimes people just reject things based on of human nature because they want to be in control. And when someone is venting, they often want validation, not direction. If they didn't ask for your advice, it's gonna feel like interruption, and so it's also gonna feel like you're taking over, like you're trying to steer their life, even if you're just trying to save time for them to help them out and guide them. But here's something settled though: when you help somebody too quickly before they ask for it, you remove their opportunity to think for themselves. And thinking is tied to an autonomy, and autonomy is tied to identity, and identity is attached to protected fiercely, self protection. And the brain reacts with not a thank you, but with I didn't need that right now. I don't need that. Even if they did, they wasn't in the mood for it. And another piece, timing is often vulnerability. Okay, timing of vulnerability. If someone is still emotional, which we keep circling on that, emotionally charged, helping feels dismissal. They don't hear. They don't need to feel what's heard here. They don't hear anything. They just feel like you're criticizing them. And advice given before validation is gonna feel like you are overreacting. Okay, that shuts the person down fast before they even listen to your advice. But here's also this: some people equate accepting with weakness, so rejecting advice becomes a way of preserving strength. Okay, especially in adults, parents, leaders. Okay, in people who pride themselves on independence, helping threatens the self-image of person's capability, and self-image is power. So what would work instead? Ask before advising: do you want feedback, or do you just want me to listen? That single question changes everything. It restores autonomy, it removes pressure, and it makes help optional, not imposed. Frame the help as a perspective, not a correction. Instead of that one works, say, here's something I've seen happen before. Here, now, sharing experience, not declaring verdict, same content, different impact. So, and another thing on top of that is do not rush to rescue somebody, trying to help, trying to give them advice. Do not rush to do that. And let people struggle a little bit. Growth, sometimes, it helps process the growth of, friction in somebody's life. Growth happens in friction. And if you remove every obstacle, you remove development. And helping too much can stunt somebody's strength of, self-development, self-growth. So when helping backfires, it's not always rejection. Sometimes it's just protection. It's somebody's pride, maybe the timing, all right? It's identity protection. And it's simply that person needed presence, not instruction. So I could go on and on and on that, but we're going to savor that. We're going to leave it at that. So that's part 4. And if this series is hitting, part 5 can go deeper into power dynamic and respectable signals of and how to advise somebody better. So like, comment, subscribe, and tell me, have you ever tried to help someone and he blew up? Have you ever tried to help somebody and he blew up? All right? Conversation is the point. I appreciate you being here. See you part 5.